A lawsuit has been filed after an Ithaca man died in the Cayuga Medical Center waiting room.
And details on an agreement reached between Ithaca College contingent faculty unions and administrators.
And an Ithaca native band has announced a music festival coming to town this fall. All that and more right now on the Noon Report. Good afternoon and welcome to the Noon Report on News Channel 6. I'm Matt Restaina.
And I'm Morgan Kornfine. We start today with an update on the death of a man that occurred at the Cayuga Medical Center back in January. A lawsuit has been filed against 3 nurses and 1 doctor at the Cayuga Medical Center emergency room after a man died in the waiting room back in January, according to recently released court documents. 52-year-old Ithaca native Lloyd Phelps went to the emergency room on January 19th after complaints of shivering, gray skin tone, and sweating. After sitting in a waiting room, he was later found without a pulse. The victim's brother, Alan Phelps, filed the lawsuit against CMC for hospital negligence. Hospital officials have since terminated the nurse assisting Phelps at the time of his death. The date of the trial has yet to be released.
There has been some good news for contingent faculty members at Ithaca College. The Noon Report's Katie Jones has the story.
Now! What do we want? Equal pay! When do we want it? Now!
The Ithaca College administration and contingent faculty members have come to a new contract after tireless protests and negotiations.
We won a lot of great stuff. We won longer contracts for full-time faculty, so after 3 years of service, you have a 2-year contract, and after 5 years of service, a 3-year contract. For part-time faculty, after 3 years of service, you get a 2-year contract. This is way better than the semester-to-semester or year-to-year contracts we had before.
This battle was not only between the faculty and the administration. The organization, IC Students for Labor Action, led the charge. Their job involved spreading the word and keeping students educated on all issues.
I think that faculty will feel more empowered and feel like that their voice is better heard on campus. Which is great. I think that faculty will also be able to have a better, more comfortable relationship with their students.
The agreement includes many new provisions that will allow faculty members to receive greater benefits in the workplace. Some highlights include a $1,025 raise per 3-credit course over 3 years. Full-time contingent faculty are eligible for longer contracts after 3 years of teaching. A $1,300 kill fee will be offered if a class is canceled last minute, and part-time and full-time unions will merge into one union.
It's just a question of fairness. We're all a community, we're all colleagues. The contingent faculty, most of them have the same qualifications as the rest of us who are full-time.
For the Noon Report, I'm Katie Jones.
8, 7, 6.
With an agreement reached, the next step is for the union to ratify the new contract.
New York State lawmakers will be voting today on whether or not ride-hailing apps like Uber and Lyft can come to upstate New York. New York State budget is due tonight, and Governor Cuomo and lawmakers have been debating for months if ride-hailing apps should be included. On Tuesday, Cuomo noted that an agreement on these apps was within reach, but lawmakers are still weary of the impacts of the expansion of services statewide. If the legislation does make the state's final budget tonight, it is likely the services won't begin launching until July at the earliest.
The trial of Deputy Jeremy Van continued this week, with the prosecution showing a video from the interrogation of Van immediately following his arrest. The video showed Van being uncooperative with investigators during the interview. He called the victim a compulsive liar and claimed that she had a history of mental illness. The defense has yet to present its case. A local rally for those who have been wrongfully detained because of immigration issues was held yesterday. We go to our reporter Keon Brodnax, who is in studio with more on the story. Keon?
Yes, Matt. The Cornell Organization for Labor Action partnered with the Tompkins County Immigrant Rights Coalition to hold the rally for Jose Cote Perez, who was wrongfully arrested and has been detained for the past month. The rally was a part of the equal rights for immigrants for the city.
Our woman. And for that, I'm very proud of that, too.
Government will separate her from her family and potentially separate
via ICE detainment facility despite having the correct paperwork. Councilwoman Cynthia Brock said that these unjust acts against immigrants need to stop for the community's sake.
We need to make sure that all of our residents, regardless of immigration status, feels safe and protected and are able to come forward if they are the victim of a crime.
In response to this rally, the group is planning on holding a strike on May 1st to send a message of resistance to attacks on immigrants, civil rights, and working people. Reporting in studio for News Channel 6, I'm Keon Brodnex.
Thanks, Keon. Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced earlier this week that the Justice Department will begin withholding federal grants from sanctuary cities. As of now, it's unclear exactly how much federal funding will be lost and what programs will be cut. Some New York State officials are worried that the cuts will include money used for law enforcement. Ithaca will be among the communities affected by the cuts, as the City Council approved a resolution declaring Ithaca to be a sanctuary city back in February.
Hawaii federal judge Derek Watson has decided to extend his order blocking President Donald Trump's travel ban. The judge issued his extension hours after hearing arguments surrounding the ban. The state of Hawaii says the ban discriminates against Muslims and hurts the state's tourist-dependent economy. The extension of this order will ensure the constitutional rights of Muslim citizens across the United States are upheld. Trump's administration has since asked Judge Watson to narrow his ruling to cover part of President Trump's plan, to which the judge rejected, preventing Congress from halting refugees from entering the country.
A pair of White House officials reportedly provided Representative David Nunes, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, with reports that show incidental surveillance of President Trump by American spy agencies. This goes against previous statements from Nunes, who said that his sources for the report were not White House staff. This new report is likely to add to the criticism of Nunes that he is too closely connected with the Trump administration, while his Intelligence Committee is investigating Russia's involvement in the presidential election.
North Carolina lawmakers passed a bill on Thursday to repeal the state's controversial bathroom law. While the bill eliminates rules about who can use the restrooms, the LGBTQ community is still remaining fiercely critical of it due to its continued allowance for discrimination against people who are transgender. The state's Governor Roy Cooper said he wanted to add a law to protect LGBTQ North Carolinians, but was unable to, with Republicans holding the majority in Congress. The ex-ambassadors have announced a fall music festival in Stewart Park this September called the Cayuga Sound. The festival will feature bands, local events, and activities all throughout the weekend of September 23rd. The festival is a tribute to the band's hometown of Ithaca and plans to celebrate local businesses and support various local nonprofits. Other artists announced for the festival weekend include The Roots, K-Flay, The Knox, and many more. Pre- and post-show parties have been announced at the Dock and the Haunt. Tickets go on sale today and range from $10 to $200.
Coming up after the break, Austin has your first look at weather for the weekend. And later, a local team returns home after winning big at the Special Olympics. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Noon Report. Let's send it over to Austin with weather.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the weather wall. Now, as you can see right now, it's kind of not too bad out. It's about 39 degrees, real feel of 25. It's a little chilly, but got some rain on the way, so it'll make it a bit of a gloomy day. Now, looking forward into the rest of our day, as you can see, we're kind of in a bit of a big rain cloud right now. It looks like it'll take a few more hours. Later in the day, when everybody's getting out of work, you'll probably catch the tail end of it, but you should be good. As you can see, it kind of covers a lot of the area, but it'll be moving throughout the day, and it'll be gone probably by tonight. Looking into our weekend forecast, the Ithaca Farmers Market opens tomorrow. That's pretty exciting for all the Central New Yorkers who are coming out. It's going to be about in the 50s, but make sure to bring your raincoat and probably your rain boots. It's going to be a little bit of a wet day. Not too bad. It'll be a nice day to get out and kick off the farmers market. So throughout the weekend, it'll be not too bad, pretty manageable. Now looking into our 7-day, looks like we've got a pretty nice week going on. Looks like we could see some sun coming on later in the week, but other than that, it'll be a little bit rainy.
All right, so it looks like it'll be pretty decent for opening day on Sunday for baseball, huh?
Yeah, I think so. It'll be a little cold for some spectators, but not too bad. It's manageable to sit on the bleachers.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Austin. Well, speaking of opening day, stay tuned for sports updates with Andrew when we come back from the break.
Welcome back to the Noon Report. So Andrew, what's going on in the world of sports?
Well, we got a lot going on this past week. The NCAA originally chose to not consider North Carolina as a host state of NCAA championship events from 2018 to 2022 unless the state's transgender bathroom bill was abolished. However, after the recent appeal of the bill, the NCAA and its president, Mark Emmert, will announce next week whether or not its initial ban on the state will be lifted.
Committees have been waiting to see whether or not North Carolina was going to change their laws, and then they have to wait and see whether or not the Board of Governors will determine whether or not this bill that was recently passed today is a sufficient change in the law for the board to feel comfortable going back to North Carolina.
In the meantime, men's and women's basketball Final Four matchups will still take place. For the women, Stanford will duke it out against South Carolina tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Mississippi State will take on Juggernaut Connecticut, who will be riding its astounding 111-game win streak at 9:30 p.m. The men will play Saturday, starting with South Carolina against Gonzaga at 6:09 p.m., followed by Oregon versus North Carolina at 8:49 p.m. Baseball is back. Opening day of the 2017 Major League Baseball season is this Sunday as the Chicago Cubs look to defend their World Series crown. The Yankees will open up their season on the road against American League East division rival Tampa Bay Rays Sunday. First pitch will be at 1:10 p.m. As for the Mets, they will raise the curtain on their season against division rival Atlanta Braves at home at Citi Field, also at 1:10 p.m.
All right, thanks, Andrew. A heartwarming welcome in Groton this week. 17-year-old Kinsey Henry returned from winning 3 medals at the Special Olympics in Austria. Henry, who has autism, won 2 silver medals and 1 bronze in the snowshoeing competition.
More than a dozen first responders escorted Henry home with their sirens blaring and lights flashing. Henry says it feels really good to return to the U.S. an Olympic medalist. Well, that's all the news we have for you today. Thanks for tuning into the Noon Report. I'm Morgan Kornfind.
And I'm Matt Restaino. Have a great night.